My husband owns and operates an electrical business. When he finishes his job, he provides a statement due upon receipt. So it's an invoice. Please pay me.
I was really trying hard not to say that.
It's an invoice. Come on. If a client does not pay, is it considered a loss? And is it tax deductible?
No, you're on the cash basis, most likely. Even if you're on the accrual basis, it might be a loss, but let's just think of cash basis. You don't recognize any income until you're actually paid that income. Now, I've had people who rent out their cabins to churches and all for things, and they want to write off the loss of income from those. It's like, no, you can write off your normal expenses, all the expenses he did put into that job, he can write off, but you can't write off a loss for money you never got to start with.
Yeah, as a cash basis, Jeff just hit it on the head. As a cash basis taxpayer, you recognize income when you receive it. You don't get a loss unless it's actually something that cost you, like there has to be a deduction. Well, not paying just means I don't recognize the income. So I'm at zero. If it costs me money to do the job, so if it's electrical business and it cost your husband, gas to get over there, some employees to work on things, the materials, hey, I did some wiring and some, and I had some caps and I had this, that, and the other, maybe have 300 bucks of cost, and maybe it was $1,000 invoice.
Yep.
You would get the $300, your expenses. You could use those as losses and write it off against your other income. But I never received the $1,000. So just because they didn't pay me doesn't mean I get a tax deduction. I just don't have to recognize it as income.
And we hear that pretty often, that people want to write off their lost time for working on stuff they were never paid for. And IRS is going to tell you that's not a thing.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And we get that all the time. And people do this again, like, hey, I donated my time to a charity. Do I get to write it off? No, you can write off your expenses. I think it's like 14 cents a mile or something. Like they have reduced amounts, but if you like you did postage or something, hey, I took a whole bunch of envelopes to mail out to for my church and I spent 30 bucks on postage. You can write off the postage, but I can't write off the time that I spent on it because you never got paid for it. Now, if you got paid for it, then you don't have losses, obviously. So hope that helps. I know it sucks, and that's why it really hurts when people don't pay their invoices. Now, if you're an accrual-based taxpayer, this could be a slightly different story. You would have the income accrued when he sends the invoice.
Correct.
But then they didn't pay it, so you'd have to write it off as uncollectible invoice, and you write it off. You're still at zero. Like you're not worse off, better off. You're still at zero. Is that good?
No, that was exactly right.
Phew. It's like a broken clock.
You're right, twice a day.
Twice a day. That's about it. Depends on the clock, too. Hey, guys, if you like this snippet of Tax Tuesday, then I invite you to click the link and actually subscribe to become a Tax Tuesday member. Every other week, we do these live, and you, too, can ask your questions, and myself and my team will answer your questions on the next Tax Tuesday.